Hey, what's up guys? My name is Ben and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be explaining kind of a theory that no one's really talked about in the zombies community, no one's really picked up on, and it should shine some light on the Origins cutscene and the ending of the Black Ops 3 zombie storyline in the future 3 DLCs to come in Black Ops 3. So before we get into the video, I encourage you guys to hit that like button and stuff more Black Ops 3 zombies content, and get ready guys, because this is going to be confusing, but by the end of this video, I really hope that you guys understand the Origins cutscene a little bit more, and we have some more answers on this. So let's get right into it. So the first thing you guys need to know is that Jason Blundell took over making zombies in Mob of the Dead. Jimmy Zielinski finished his last map on Buried, and then again, Blundell took over with Origins. And in Origins, he set up Black Ops 3. He did it in Mob of the Dead, and he did it in Origins. He was just kind of, he knew he was going to have Black Ops 3. He was going to be the lead developer for that. So he was going, okay, we're going to start changing things now so it'll start to make sense in Black Ops 3. Well, the Origins cutscene still doesn't make sense in Black Ops 3, but it will by the end of DLC 4, and here's why. So I want you to know that all of Zielinski's maps are just part of Sam and Eddie's game. Now, if you're wondering what Sam and Eddie's game is, at the end of the Origins cutscene, or at the end of the Origins Easter egg, we have Samantha and Eddie playing in a room going, oh, it was just an all game, and everyone's going, really? The whole zombie storyline was all just a game? But now that we're into Black Ops 3, we can see that it was really all just a game, and the reason it was all just a game is because Blundell made it that. If you're kind of still wondering what I'm talking about, let me propose the comic book theory. So Zielinski's maps are all just part of a comic book, all part of the game that Sam and Eddie play in their room in the Origins cutscene. So Blundell has made it that Mob of the Dead, Origins, Shadows of Evil, The Rising Drac, and The Giant are all part of the real-life zombies. It's what's happening in the real world for zombies, and then everything before that is just Sam and Eddie playing in their room. Now, if you're okay, how do we determine which maps are in the zombies comic book theory and which ones are in the real life? Well, just by the loading cuts or the loading intros or the loading screens. Kino, did it have a comic book loading screen? Yes, it did. Therefore, part of the story. 5 didn't really have anything. It was just a spin-off and a bonus map for Black Ops 3. So we're going to ignore 5. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Ascension, comic book loading screen, yes. Call of the Dead, did it have a comic book loading screen? Yep, then it's part of the story. Shangri-La, did it have a comic book loading screen? Yes, it did. Therefore, what does that mean? Well, it's part of the comic book theory. Moon, comic book loading screen, yep. Transit, it didn't, but even though there was no loading screen, or comic book loading screen, it's part of the game just because of the Die Rise loading screen, which is a continuation of Transit, and the Die Rise loading screen was a comic book. Now, Mob of the Dead, Blundell's first map didn't have a comic book to it. It had like a weird scribble paper on the multiplayer. It was like all this random stuff about the afterlife and stuff. We're going to ignore Mob of the Dead for a second, come back to it in a little bit. Buried, comic book loading screen, yep, good to go. That's part of the story. That is the last part of the story. That's where, at the end of the Buried thing, is basically where the Origins cutscene kind of leads off. So let's just kind of talk about Origins again. It's part of Sam and Eddie's game, so everything up until that point had just been a story. Now we're going to leave out the original 4 maps just because it's so much harder to explain. I don't have time to explain it in this video. It's going to make this 10 times harder to explain. I'll make another video on that soon, explaining those 4 maps and how they play in. Pretty much just the same comic book way, but it kind of has to negate World at War and just say that the Black Ops version of those maps are part of the comic book. But I'll explain that in another video. So, let's talk about Mob of the Dead again. Mob of the Dead, why isn't it part of the story if it's just basically Sam and Eddie's game? Well, Blundell is connected straight to Shadows of Evil. How do we know this? In-game stuff. We know we have the Sal DeLuca paper in it. Paper in the what is it? The laundromat. We know that the characters in Shadows of Evil do talk about knowing the Mob of the Dead characters. We've seen the plane flying above Shadows of Evil and on top of the Giant. So that is part of that universe. That's why it's not part of Sam and Eddie's story. It's part of the real life. Origins is obviously the start of the real life, although Mob of the Dead is still in there. Shadows of Evil, again, it's linked to Mob of the Dead. And if you're also another little shout out to Mob of the Dead is that Richtofen has the blood vials on his chest from 2 of the Mob of the Dead prisoners, signifying that he's been there, or he knows them, or he's come in contact with them at some point in the storyline. So the Giant happens actually right before Shadows of Evil, or the Giant happens after Shadows of Evil, because when Richtofen kills himself, he bends down with a summoning key, puts it over, and preserves his soul, so we know that Shadows of Evil is part of the storyline. And of course, Der Eisendrache is part of the storyline because it's a continuation of Shadows of Evil and the Giant. So now that we've had all that said, I hope it kind of, you guys start to understand this. Let me just say here, one more little overview to give you guys sort of a clear picture if you're still not seeing the picture. Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, with the exception of Mob of the Dead and Origins, are all just part of Sam and Eddie's game. Originally, it was the real storyline, but since Blundell took over and wanted to change things, the easiest way for him to do that, with a continuation of the storyline and continuing to have our 4 original characters in it, he had to change things to make it all just a game. And at the end of DLC 4, we'll see the ultimate. We'll know what happens after the Origins cutscene. We'll know why Sam and Eddie had to close the window and go downstairs to the basement. We'll know where Maxis is. We'll probably see Maxis. We'll probably see Samantha. We'll probably see young Eddie. And we'll probably see the original 4 characters come in contact with them or some sort of way. Or maybe we won't. Maybe that'll go into Black Ops 4, the next Treyarch game. Maybe they'll just continue to push the storyline on another map. I mean, another game, although that's highly unlikely. I think we will see a resolution to the Origins storyline and the Origins cutscene at the end of Black Ops 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and sub for more Black Ops 3 Zombies content. I did my best to try and explain this for you guys. It's really hard to understand. I tried my best. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Feel free to answer those. If I missed anything in this, I'll go back and comment it down below, but this is the best way for me to explain it, that Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, all just a game with the exception of Mob of the Dead and Origins, and this is the real storyline. This is the main timeline for this, and the only timeline you really need to know is that this is the Black Ops 3, again, with Mob of the Dead and Origins, is all part of the same timeline. Nothing else really matters, kind of. I don't know how to really say that, but yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, guys, my name is Ben. I'm out.